Good morning.
I'm a train wreck. It's all Chris's fault. Chris started asking me questions and then I started crying. So you can blame me being a train wreck. Y'all just tell Chris thank you. I'm just playing, Chris. Um, what do I talk about? Y'all just give me a minute. It's Chris's fault. I told Chris I have the type of hair you can't brush it because if you brush it, it is a fuzzy mess. And then when you don't brush it, it looks like I've stuck my finger in a light socket. And then it draws up because of the humidity, it draws up to here. My hair's actually a decent length, but it draws up to here because of the humidity. It's like so it's just like, and then like when I do this, I have a cowlick. And so it separates my hair like this. And then I start getting, Judy, you got Cynthia hair. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Okay. Miles has been after me. Miles Miller, Miles, I know you're here, so you better comment. He wants me to do my vocabulary words because oftentimes we get new people and they don't know what I'm talking about. So if you're new to Sneed's Farmhouse, I'm a straight up weirdo. I put my makeup on the mornings. And the reason I put my makeup in the mornings is because I don't know. I mean, basically, if I had to guess why I do this, I don't even know why I mean, who goes live and puts on their makeup? People that sell makeup. But it's not what I do. I don't sell makeup. As a matter of fact, I say, do not watch me put on my makeup because if you are a person that does makeup, you're probably cringing over, because this lady sent me a message and she goes, I am cringing over your makeup brushes. Dude, I don't care. I am not selling makeup. I'm not. I'm just Judy. Okay. The bottom line is I'm Judy. It makes me feel better when I fix myself up a little bit. It almost like it gives me a little kick in my step. When I look in the mirror and I see this, I'm like, God, Judy, go do something with yourself. You'll feel better. You know how like if you take a shower, you feel better, or if you put on something nice, you feel better. Well, when I get ready, it takes my depression away a little bit. It makes no sense. I get it. It makes no sense, but it does to me. It does to me. And so when you see me get ready in the morning, it helps me dance. Makes no sense to the average person, but to this brain of mine, it does. So if you're meeting me for the first time and I'm putting my makeup on, I'm not trying to sell a product. Okay. So the first vocabulary word is this. Most people call this a curling iron. Well, one day I was getting ready and I used to like curl my hair all the time. And I've gotten, because it's too hot and I hadn't curled my hair in a while. But I started curling my hair to get ready in the morning and I was finding myself doing this. And I was like, what am I'm like preaching to them? Because I get in the moment of talking about how to dance and I start doing this. So I quit saying this is my curling iron. I call this my preaching stick. So if you see me doing this, I'm serious. Okay. That means like you better listen to me because I'm speaking from my heart. So this is a preaching stick. Okay. Cynthia hair. Did you hear me just say Cynthia hair? So one time back when I first started YouTube, this lady named Cynthia, and it's not the Cynthia that's here. Okay. This lady named Cynthia kept telling me that I had no business recording with greasy hair. Okay. And she didn't say it once. She said it every time I did a video. You have no business recording videos with greasy hair. Okay. And I kept going, before you cast judgment on my grease bomb hair, please go with me for 1 week and follow me in the farm. I have alpacas eating my hair. I'm sweating like you know what. And so, like, it almost like at first I was offended by Cynthia telling me that I was a grease bomb, and it made me feel like, okay, before I start filming, I need to go hop in the shower and look beautiful. If you're following a farm, it don't work like that. We're cheese balls, okay? We're sweating our butts off. We have goats and alpacas chewing our hair. We have pigs jumping up on us and getting their snouts and doo-doo nose all over our legs. It's a train wreck, okay? So I decided to call my hair Cynthia hair. So when I say it looks like I have Cynthia hair because of it looks, see, that probably drives y'all crazy in videos. Like, why don't she fix her hair? The reason I don't fix my hair is because I can't. I have a cowlick. It drives me crazy. I wish they could cut it out. But when I was a kid, and a cow licked me right there and caused my hair to be a train wreck. So Cynthia hair is what I call it. Um, um, I used to be religiously drinking Coke Zeros in the mornings, and I called them my protein shakes, okay? Because a protein shake sounds much healthier than a Coke Zero for breakfast, okay? So I started saying it was my protein shake, okay? And then I got on this health kick, which I do often because I have major problems. I got on this health kick and I decided that I was no longer drinking protein shakes in the morning. I was going to change and drink water. Okay. Because water is more healthier for you than a Coke Zero protein shake. So I often say that I drink straight vodka in the morning to get me through the day. That's a big fat lie. I do not drink. I hate alcohol. Okay. This is not vodka. I'm just doing it to be silly. If you know me, I'm a silly person. I don't know what other vocabulary word I'm missing. But you'll catch on as I say a vocabulary. I call them vocabulary words because nobody else. If you just pop on and I say, "Let me get a drink of vodka," you're like, "Oh my God, she drinks vodka for breakfast." Oh, jackleg. Okay, I don't know where the word jackleg came. I call people jacklegs. I'm calling people a jackleg because I love you. It's not it's not a bad word to me. It's actually a good word. If I call you a jackleg, it's because I love you more than life itself, okay? If if I say these get out here and tell these jacklegs what you did to me. The jacklegs are the most precious people to me in the whole wide world. But often it gets misunderstood because it does sound like a J-A, Jack A, okay? I don't like to cuss, but it does. And I'm sorry that it does, but I can't make myself stop saying jackleg. I don't know. I'm having a grandkid coming soon, and I'm like, Judy, you probably should quit saying jackleg. I told Shane I'm going to try to quit saying jackleg and say hillbilly. Okay. I'm trying. But it's something I've said my whole life. And I realized that my brother says jackleg. So I think we must have learned, maybe we grew up with my mom saying jackleg. I don't remember her saying it, but I'm going to try to quit saying jackleg, just like I tried to quit drinking my protein shakes, because I'm trying to make better decisions. So I'm trying to say you hillbilly instead of jackleg. So we're trying to make positive changes, because I don't want my grandkid going to daycare saying you jackleg. So I'm working on myself. I'm not perfect. Okay. I'm not going to talk about Dee Dee too much. She's terrible. Let's just leave it, because I will sit here and bawl my eyes out. She's terrible. Terrible. But I'm not going to let her suffer, but I am going to give her a chance. The 5,654 people that told me to reach out to Jason and Brooke, thank you for telling me that. I don't want to bug them. So I am not going to totally reach out to them. But I did order the stuff. It was very expensive. But hey, at this point, I've spent so much money. $100 is nothing. So I ordered the medicine, and I'm going to try it. I'm assuming that's all that Jason and Brooke did, was give her that medicine. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. It sucks. Let's just put it that way. And there's a lot. Oh, I'm going to start crying. Oh, Scout's honor. That's another vocabulary word. So when I cry often because I'm a train wreck, which I tell y'all, I say Scout's honor because it helps me not cry. Scout's honor, I'm not going to cry. And it, for some reason, when I put my three fingers up, it kind of takes the tears out of my eyes. It's weird. But when I start saying Scout's honor, it's because I'm trying not to cry. Okay. So I'm moving away from Dee Dee. I will tell you, yes, I put Cog Hill's discount code in, and I got a discount. It still was $90-something, but at this point, like I said, honey, I'd spend $2,000 if they told me she could have surgery and get her leg fixed, just to let you know. So I do have a call into the vet this morning, so we'll see. Okay. I go to the ENT for a recheck with my surgery. I just had sinus surgery, ear surgery. I'm still not 100%. My ears are still not totally normal. Like when I bend down and stand up, it's like the whole world spins. It takes me a minute. So I pray that when I go, he doesn't shove that thing up my nose, but I'm sure he will. If you've been to an ENT and had that thing shoved up your nose into your brain to suck it out, oh my God, it is horrible. So I'm dreading tomorrow. I will tell you, let me just say this. So you know how my face breaks out like a 16-year-old? It's been a train wreck. I made an appointment last week because I had a spot come up on my leg that I was concerned about for skin cancer. And while I was there, I said, look, my main focus today is this train wreck face because it is breaking out like crazy because of my hormones. And she looked and she said, honey, it's not your hormones. I go, what is it? And she said, it is your rosacea, because I have rosacea. And I went, oh, how do I fix it? So I have new medication for my rosacea, and I will tell you, I mean, that is from skin cancer, but my face is clearer than it's been in a long time from just using this medicine. So if you're a zit head like me at 54 years old, maybe it's rosacea. And the doctor just called this medicine in, and it's doing a lot better. I had 6 spots removed last week for skin cancer. And they are sending those into the lab to be tested. One, she was very concerned that was melanoma. My mother had melanoma. My grandmother had melanoma. So it would not surprise me if I have melanoma, because when I was a kid, we went to tanning beds. We used Crisco grease oil in the backyard to lay out. And me being fair skin and redhead, I did not fit in because everybody was tan and I'm lily white. So I did everything in my power to fit in with the community and try to be dark. Okay. And we didn't have a spray tan back then. You laid out with Crisco oil or that iodine. You put baby oil and iodine and put it all over your body to try to get tan. And I would religiously lay out in the backyard trying to get tan so that I could fit in with other people. So therefore, I'm paying the consequences for all that. Don't you wish you could go back and do your life differently? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, enough about that. So the other night, I woke up and I was pouring sweat. And it wasn't from being in menopause, it was from a dream that I had. This is not the truth. It was a dream that I had, because people are messaging me about having breast cancer. I do not have breast cancer. I dreamt, is that the word? That I had breast cancer in both of my breasts. And I was sitting here trying to convince people that I had breast cancer. And they were telling me in my dream, Judy, you don't have breast cancer. And I was like, yes, I do. I went to the doctor and I have breast cancer. And all night long, I was trying to convince people that I had breast cancer. And I could not find one friend, one family member that believed me. And in my dream, I was going crazy. I mean, I was just like crying and going, why don't you believe me? Like, it was just weird. I woke up, and when I woke up, I remembered my dream and why I was up all night, because I remember waking up in the middle of the night and I was like, Lord, please take this dream away from me. And I'd close my eyes and I'd fall asleep and I would dream, and I was continuing the dream. So it was almost like it was reality. Have you ever had a dream that felt like it was totally real when you woke up and you felt worn out? Well, all night long, I was trying to convince people that I was sick, that I was dying. And when I woke up and I was drenched in sweat, I didn't say nothing to Shane, because you almost feel like when you tell someone that you woke up sweating, scared to death because you drink, like it just seems like, what? Like you're crying. Well, Shane was in a hurry to go to work because he has to be at work really early. So I just let him leave the door and I just started busting out in tears. And I was like, man, this dream seems so real to me. Have y'all ever had a dream like that? Like it feels like reality, like you remember every detail of the dream and how you were fighting, you know? Well, the reason it hit home with me is simply because that's how my entire life was growing up. In reality, it wasn't a dream. In reality, it started so I did not have depression as a kid at all. I didn't have depression as a middle schooler. I had I remember being happy. I was a funny person, everybody laughed at me. I wasn't one to tell jokes per se. I was just a funny person. And the depression did not happen until I hit high school. And It happened when me and this, and I've talked about it before, but I started dating this guy my 8th grade year. No, I think it was 7th grade year. I started dating this guy my 7th grade year, and we were the couple. Everybody knew Judy and Scotty. And he was the football player. I was the cheerleader. We were popular. Everyone knew us. I remember girls sitting me down going, how do you date somebody that long? Because we dated from 7th grade until I was in high school. So like nobody else did that. I mean, it was like a fling. You'd go on a couple dates. Like no one stayed together for years at that age, but we did. Okay, like we were always together. And so the depression did not hit until me and him broke up. And when him and I broke up, I flipped my lid. Like when I tell you the depression kicked in high gear, it was terrible. When the depression hit, I cried all the time. I cried at school from the time I got there to the time I left. People made, especially, I hate to even call him out because we're like BFF now, but my oldest brother, oh my gosh, it was horrible. He was the ringleader making fun of me. I remember this one particular, we had study hall, and Scotty, my boyfriend that we broke up, was in the study hall with me along with my brother. And I cried every single day. And I remember my brother making fun of me in front of the whole entire class because he didn't understand. I mean, I was crying every day. He didn't get it. He didn't, I mean, my family was like, Judy, get over Scotty. Just get over it. I couldn't get over it. As a matter of fact, I became like obsessed. Obsessed. And when the depression hit, it escalated my senior year in high school. Like escalated bad, where I tried to take my own life when I was in high school. And as a matter of fact, I graduated in the hospital. I was in a lockdown unit in high school, and I became labeled as the crazy girl because I did some really stupid things because of my depression. I drove Scotty crazy. I embarrassed myself multiple times. Um, I when I tried to take my own life, uh, my family was in shock because I was popular. I had everything going for me. I mean, but my senior year in high school is when my eating disorder started. Because as a woman, you probably can relate to me, but I viewed myself by the size I was. Scotty doesn't like me because I'm fat and this girl's skinny. So I got to starve myself to lose weight because he likes her and not me. And it instead of starving myself, I went overboard eating, and I became really big in high school, my senior year. And when I started gaining weight, I remember I couldn't wear any of my clothes. And I remember one time my friends wanted to go out, and I had to go. My mom was a big woman. And I remember I had to go to my mom's closet to find a pair of jeans this particular day because none of my clothes fit me. And I gained weight really quickly. But You would think an alarm would go off in my mother's head, but she didn't know what to do with me because she wasn't used to me being depressed. It just hit me out of nowhere. And my mother wore like a size 18, and I was wearing a size 18, and Judy wore like a 5'6". Okay. I was always little. I mean, until my senior year. And then I'm wearing a size 18 all of a sudden. And nobody, all of a sudden, nobody wants to date me because I'm fat. And, I'm the crazy girl that tried to kill herself. And it got bad. It got really, really bad. After high school, first of all, I'm going through life with no treatment because my mother, my dad, they would just go, "Leave Judy alone. She's in her bedroom." I would go to my bedroom to isolate myself because the pain was so severe and I didn't know how to say it. Because if you've never been to counseling or understand mental health, you at this point, or me at this point, I don't really understand what it means to have a choice to sit it out or dance, right? I'm not understanding. I just know I have pain inside me. The pain is unbearable. Please understand that mental health causes physical elements. If you don't understand what I'm saying, go to Chat GPT or Google and Google, what does stress do to you? What does anxiety do to you? What does depression do to you physically? And you're going to see it causes physical problems. And that's what began to happen is I started having this hurts. My stomach hurts because my stomach did hurt. And I would go to my mom and go, "Oh my gosh, my stomach is killing me, mother. You don't understand." And so my mom would take me to the doctor and go, "Her stomach hurts." And they would ask me my symptoms and I would begin to tell them I'm throwing up or I, whatever the problem was, I don't remember. And when that happens, the doctors begin to run tests. So then my brain, because I was hurting so bad, I thought I was dying. I thought I had cancer, or I thought, I don't know, something like I remember I made this problem into this huge problem. And I would begin to tell people, I'm sick. Like something's wrong. I'm going to the doctor having these tests. They think I remember this. Let me tell you this one particular story. Okay. Keep in mind, I have a child. Okay. So this is later in life. I had Corbin when I was 26. I got pregnant when I was 26 years old. So I was 27 when I had Corbin, I think. So I have a baby. So this has escalated from high school, and now I'm 27 years old, and it ain't leaving me. And nobody knows what to do with me. Okay? So this particular time, I was convinced. I think my leg went numb one day or something, and I Googled, "My leg is numb. What is wrong with me?" And Google told me I had MS. You know what I'm talking about? We've all done this. The Google had me, I have MS. So then I began to go to a neurologist because I have MS. And I look at the symptoms of MS and I have every symptom. So I began to go to the neurologist. My legs go, I can't remember all the symptoms. My leg is going numb. My back hurts. I can't walk good. I have MS. And I remember my mother and father-in-law, oh my gosh, they were so concerned. My husband was concerned. I was concerned. We were all convinced that I had MS. And I remember the doctor coming back going, you don't have MS. I think you need to go to the psychiatrist. I flip my, when you go and you're having physical problems, okay? And the doctor looks at you and says, you need to go deal with your stress or your anxiety. You flip your lid. They don't believe me. I'm over here with MS and they don't believe me. If you've ever had physical pain and the doctor cannot find anything wrong with you and they tell you to go to a mental health doctor, you get me. It will make you so mad. It is not even funny when people don't believe that you're sick. And first of all, I felt embarrassed because here my mother and father-in-law, basically we're all convinced I have MS and there's nothing wrong with me. And my father and mother-in-law, my mother, Larry, they're all looking at me going, and I'm like, they told me to go to the mental health doctor. And they're all mad because go get a second opinion. Go get a second opinion, Judy. I don't believe this doctor. I can't remember if I got a second opinion. It was a minute ago, okay? But I dealt with this my whole younger years of my life. I would be convinced I would have the most ridiculous pain ever. I cannot tell you how many surgeries I've had in my life. Because I'm going to tell you something. It would get to the point, especially girly stuff, okay? I would get to the point where I was hurting so bad that the doctors would do surgery on me to figure out what's wrong with me or something. Okay, I wish I knew how many surgeries I had. But when you're constantly sick and you're constantly having surgeries, my best friend, I began to get on her nerves because I was viewed as the hypochondriac because I was always sick. I was always being tested for something because everything inside me hurt. But at this point in life, I didn't really understand how to explain what was going on with me because I was having physical pain. I've had probably 4 surgeries for endometriosis. Now, sometimes when they went in to do exploratory surgery, they did find something. Like I did have endometriosis. I've had plantar fasciitis surgery. I've had a hemorrhoidectomy. I've had I'm not going to go into everything. I've had a number of things. And when this started happening and I got the hypochondriac diagnosis, my best friend, I started getting on her nerve. But I don't blame her. I mean, dang, every time I turned around, I thought something was wrong with me. And nobody wants to hear that, especially when you're in your teens and 20s. I mean, Nobody understands that. And even if she would have said, Judy, I think you're mental. Oh, I'd have cut her off like a heartbeat. So I don't really blame my best friend at the time for going, here she goes again. My family, here she goes again. She's exaggerating. She's always sick. Something inside her always hurts. Because that is exactly what was happening. I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to explain it. I just knew I hurt. It wasn't until Robbie that I've talked about left me for this little girl. I call her a little girl because at the time she was in her 20s and I was like in my 40s. I don't know, something like that. And I hit rock bottom. When I tell you I couldn't function, I could not function. It was the worst time in my life. I'm going to tell you, I have been through my parents dying. Okay. My dad had the unsuspected diagnosis of lung cancer. I watched him suffer. The pain that I felt when Robbie left me for that young girl was worse than any pain I have. Ooh, see, it helps. If you just hold your 3 fingers up, sometimes it won't work, but majority of the time, if I hold my fingers up and say Scout's honor, the tears will go away. The pain that I felt when he left me, it was awful. And every single thing when he left me kicked in high gear. I'm talking my eating disorder, I would not eat at all. All day long, I would have maybe a half of a saltine cracker, and this went on for weeks, months. I became this big around. I could not function. I lost my job. I'm not going to get into that. I lost my job. I lost my husband. My mother died in the middle of all of this. When I tell you my husband left, he literally packed everything up and left me for this girl he met at the beach. It was horrible. But he saved my life because I ended up in the hospital fighting for my life. And I remember laying in the bed and everything physically hurt inside me. And I remember laying in the bed going, are you going to live or are you going to die? Which one are you going to do? Which one are you going to do? So, Judy, he's left you. Now what? Your mom's not here. You know, us as kids, I mean, I don't care how old you are. You know, when your mom's alive, if you need $25 or you need a place to live, like mama's there, right? I mean, not that dad's not there, but mom is there, right? Like, but when mom dies, it's like a part of you dies because you're like, what if what if I need to move home for a minute? Or what if I need $25? What if I have no money and I need $25 for gas? Mom's going to give it to me. Mom's not there no more. It's like a slap in the face for you. Oh my God, my mom's gone. It's scary. Because you're like, can I do this without my mom? Like, I mean, I'm sorry if you're a dad and you're watching me, but there's something about a connection with the mom. I don't know what it is, but like my dad's there if my car breaks down. But mom has you back, right? Like dad's going to tell you to get out there and work. Go figure it out. Moms ain't doing that. Moms are hugging you. It's going to be okay. You're strong. You got this. Mom wasn't there when Robbie left me. And I felt like I got kicked in the teeth. My mom died this week, 17 years ago. So mom died in August. Robbie left me in September. So I didn't even have enough time to mourn the death of my mother when he's walking out the door. I had so much physical pain that I definitely was probably a hypochondriac at this point. And I was trying to convince everybody I was dying. I had cancer. I don't know. I had MS. I had like something's not right. Something is not right with my body. You know, I mean, I'm trying to convince everybody I'm sick. Like something's physically, my stomach hurts, my back hurts, my legs hurt, my brain hurts, everything hurts inside me. And I'm trying to convince everybody that I'm dying. And nobody believes me. Judy, you're a hypochondriac. You've done this your whole life. I was laying in the hospital. And at this point, I don't know if you call it a coma. I had quit eating and I was going to the doctor for my mental health because I was dying inside. She changed my medication. When she changed my medication, she didn't know that I wasn't eating. This particular medicine, when on the prescription bottle it says must eat with food. I mean, must eat with this medication. Must have a full belly or whatever your prescription says. Okay, I totally ignored that. And I began to take the medication and I was starving myself. To make a long story short, I became septic. I was having seizures. It was terrible. Terrible. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me because I wasn't telling them that I was starving myself. I didn't tell them that my husband left me. I didn't tell them that I was dying inside and I was trying to be skinny because the girl was skinnier than me and I was trying to look like her because she's young and I've got wrinkles and sag and like I couldn't say what was going on with me mentally. I could just say I'm having seizures. I'm sick. Something's wrong. And I can remember being rolled into the ER and they would do, who's the president? Trying to do a mental evaluation to see if I was like understanding. And it got to the point where I was in ICU on dialysis. Mm-hmm. And when I woke up, I was looking around the hospital going, where the heck am I at? And I looked and I saw on the board, like the little white, how it tells you who your nurse is and all that stuff. I looked at the board and I'll tell you what was playing on the TV. They had the TV on Hell's Kitchen. And I was like, well, I know what that is because we used to watch Hell's Kitchen. I was like, well, I know who that is. And it said, emergency contact Robbie Smith. And I was like, well, that's my husband. Do I have children? I remember going, do I have kids? And I was like, wait, I think I do have kids. Am I in heaven? Like, where am I at? I was so confused. And when I woke up, you ready for this? I remember the nurse taking the sheet off me to get me in a wheelchair. I'd already gone through my dialysis. And I had pee and poop all in the bed. And she was like, I got to clean you up before we transfer you. We're going to transfer you to a regular room. I don't even know where I'm at this point. And do you know where she rolls me? To the mental nervous unit. They rolled me to the mental health whatever unit. And I'm in a wheelchair. I've been on dialysis. I don't even know what I'm still confused. At this point, I can't talk. Okay. I still can't speak. I can't say, where am I? Because I can't talk. And I remember being at the nurse's station and they had said, honey, your room is down that hall, last door on the left. I remember trying to get out of the wheelchair. And I remember, you know how like the hallway and they have the little handrails? I remember holding on to the handrail, trying to walk. Because at this point, I can't even walk right. Trying to walk one at a time, moving my hand to try to get to my room. And I remember, because when you if you've not ever been in a lockdown unit, okay, there's police or not police, but security guards. And I remember this security guard came up to me, is like, do you need help? And I just shook my head, yes. And I remember him helping me get to my room. And I had a roommate. And I remember her coming over to me and she's like, are you okay? And I can't talk. But I knew what was going on in my head. And I thought, where am I at? What is going on? And I remember I was hungry. I was starving. And I remember my roommate, because I was pointing to my belly, and she said, are you hungry? I said, yes. And she said, I'm going to go get you some crackers. And I remember that girl coming back with graham crackers and a Sprite. Thank God. And I remember they came to get me because I had pooped all over myself. They came to get me to get in the shower. Well, if you've never been in a lockdown unit, there's a timer on the water because you could drown yourself. I remember getting in them because I can't take a shower. I can't even stand up hardly. So the nurse had to come give me a bath. And you have to push the button for the water to come down every so many minutes. Being in there and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, what the heck? Where am I at? Like, what the heck? And you'd push the button, the water would come down, and that sweet nurse bathed me and got me in the bed. Well, that morning they were like, come on, we're going to group therapy. And I'm thinking, I got to go to group therapy? I can't even freaking talk. But you know why I was in the mental hospital? Because I remember when I started talking and my doctor said, did you try to kill yourself? I'm like, well, no. And I couldn't convince any nurse, any doctor in that facility that I didn't try to take my own life. I was just taking my medication, but no one believed me. No one believed me. So therefore, to make a long story short, not to go into details, the day I got out of the hospital, there's a knock at my door. I got subpoenaed to court because I was getting my kids taken away from me for trying to kill myself. I wasn't trying to kill myself. The morning I got out of the hospital, I'm sitting in the court. I can barely talk. I've never been to court a day in my life. I'm sitting in the court fighting for my children. Luckily, my counselor that I had been with for a long time, because at this point, I had been in counseling, I think 3 years when all this happened. She went to court with me. I looked at her and I said, I'm here to tell you right now, in the best words I could get out of my mouth. And I said, hang on. I said, I was not trying to kill myself. And she said, Judy, I know. At this point, I don't even know why I went septic. I had no clue what even happened to me. Like, I'm just like, why am I in the hospital? Why am I on dialysis? I have no clue. I have no clue. And now I'm drug into court fixing to get my kids taken away from me. And I'm trying to convince every single person that I didn't try to kill myself. And no one believes me. And I'm about to get my kids taken away from me. To make a long story short, my kids did not get taken away from me. And that day, I can't hold it back. I was like, Judy, you got to get your crap straight. Dear Jesus, God, Judy, get your crap straight. No one believes anything that comes out of your mouth. You got to get it straight. And the day I got out of court, I'm going to tell you this. It cost me $100 an hour for my doctor to go to court with me. She was there 8 hours all day long. That's how long we were in court, okay? And after court, in the best language I could come up with, I said, help me. Help me. Please help me. And she said, Judy, I need you to come to my office 3 days a week until we get better. I said, I have a job. What am I going to do? She said, you're going to go on medical leave. I said, I'll do whatever it takes to get better. I've got to get better. I've got to get better. I've got to get better. My kids need me. I've got to get better. And I'm going to tell you, I did everything it took to get me better. You know, sometimes I get messages from you guys, and you're like, Judy, when you don't go live, I feel kicked in the gut. I need to hear your words. I need to hear your testimony, Judy. And I think in my head, I get it. That's why I show up every Monday and Wednesday, because I get it. Because when I was going to counseling 3 days a week, if she called in sick, I felt kicked in the gut. I'm like, what am I going to do? I mean, I was, you know how they talk about go minute to minute? I was minute to minute. Okay. I was so desperate to get better. And I've told you multiple times, I went to counseling 3 days a week for 2 solid years. So I hadn't even finished putting on my makeup. When you think you're alone, you're not. I get you. I get you what it's like to have physical pain and not understand it and think that you're dying and you're running to the doctor to go help me. I hurt all over. I get you. And then the doctor's going, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. You need to go to the mental. And you're like, you don't understand. I don't need to go to the mental. I'm literally having physical pain. No one believes me. And when I had that dream the other night and I woke up, it was like the flashback of my life slapped me in the face, because I was remembering trying to convince everyone that I was having physical pain. It hurts. If you've ever fought depression, you may not be like me and fought it for years. Maybe you just fought it for a little bit. Maybe it was a situational depression. You lost your spouse or something. It causes physical pain. It's a pain that you can't describe. And it's real. It's not made up. The physical pain that you feel from mental health is true pain. Google it. And I'm not a counselor. I'm not. All I can do is tell you my testimony and tell you how I got to where I am today. I can tell you that I haven't fought depression in a long time. And I never thought I would say that. I have depression, don't get me wrong. But when I say I don't fight depression, I don't get stuck in depression. I never thought I would ever say that. I learned how to be a wife. I learned how to be a mother. I'm still learning how to be a caregiver. I haven't mastered that yet, and that's going to be about Wednesday. So Wednesday's live, we'll talk about that. But when I say I've learned how to be a wife, that may be confusing. It took me a minute to learn what love was, because I viewed love as a feeling. I don't feel loved. I don't feel all the googie gaga inside my belly. I want to feel excited. I want to feel in love, and I don't feel that. That's what I thought love was until I had to research and understand the mental side of what love is. Love is sticking with someone through thick and thin. Love is not a feeling. Love is a commitment. And I will tell you that in the years I've been married, I was not a wife. I should have been married. When it comes to Shane, I'm so well that I've learned what love is. Love is putting up with the crap I put up with, okay? I had to learn the love languages. I had to learn how Shane shows love because he's a weirdo, okay? He's a weirdo. I had to learn. He doesn't love like me. If I depended on Shane for my happiness, I'd be screwed. Okay. I'm here to tell you right now. Because it's different. But once I learned his love language, I learned how sweet our love is. It's different. It's probably not like other marriages. Yours probably isn't either. I'm not going to get on that subject. I'm going to wrap this up because I hadn't even finished my makeup. See, you can tell I don't still makeup because I hadn't even finished it and I'm running out of time. When you have physical pain that you can't describe, of course, you need to go to the doctor to make sure there's nothing medically wrong with you. That's step one, because it could be something medical wrong with you. But when you keep getting when the doctor tells you that there's nothing wrong and you need to go to the mental health doctor and you're mad as heck. I mean, sometimes you do have to fight for your physical health because maybe they've misdiagnosed you and maybe there is something physically wrong with you. But for me, the physical pain that I was feeling was coming from my mental health. And that's hard to explain. And if you're trying to convince everybody that you're telling the truth, I just will tell you that your Aunt Judy believes you because it does cause physical pain. And it's physical pain that nobody can diagnose because it's here. And it's hard to believe that this can cause physical pain. But it can. But if you're like me and have that beautiful reputation your whole life of being crazy, or she exaggerates, or she's always sick, you're not alone. I think telling my story, the thing is, most people that made me feel like that is no longer in my life. My best friend from high school is no longer in my life. My mother tried to tell me, but I never listened, but she's no longer in my life. Shane does not do that to me at all. Shane does, I'm just going to leave it at that. Shane does not do that. My family For the most part, because I'm better, they're better about me. But I don't really have a lot of family. I mean, the most important family members to me, I mean, when it comes to my immediate family, all I have is my older brother. And luckily, he got saved. Luckily, he got saved, and Jesus Christ saved his soul. And he's so nice now. And I'm so thankful. So thankful. I hope what I said today can help somebody out there. I know that when you see my posts or videos or my life with Shane or my life, you're like, oh my gosh, she has such a perfect marriage, or I can't see her that way. I can't see her getting her kids taken away and being in the mental hospital and trying to kill herself. I can't see her that way. And the reason you can't see me that way is because I have put the effort in to fixing my life. What gives me the strength to do that? I believe it's God, because I've never been strong enough to do it. But I'm here to tell you that there is an answer. Counseling changed my life. It took me a minute to find the right counselor, and I could have given up many of times because I've had some doozies of counselors. But I'm here to tell you that you can live your life happy without physical pain. I'm living proof of it. I'm here to tell you, if I can do it, you can do it. And together, meeting on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm not a counselor. I'm not trained. I don't know I just share my life in hopes to help someone else. And to be honest with you, when I tell my story, it helps me too. It helps both of us. So today is Monday. It's a new week. I always tell you that you have choices. Sitting it out is allowing that physical pain that comes from mental health to consume you the rest of your life and live your life unhealthy, unhappy, and hate everything about your life. That is sitting it out. You have choices to dance. Dancing is embracing, going, I need help. I hate every single thing about my life, or I hate I hate my job. I hate my marriage. I hate my relationship with my children, whatever it is. You have a choice to change that, but you have to put in the effort to change that. And if it takes 3 days a week for 2 years, you have to be committed to put forth the effort. We're here every Monday and Wednesday. When you need encouragement, listen to my story, because I've been there. And I'm telling you that my life is not perfect, but I've come a long way to share my story. I hope you have a great week. Please pray for Dee Dee. And Tuesday's video, I will update you and show you Dee Dee. I'm not going to keep you out of the loop. Thank you for watching my channel. You help me help these animals. You help me give back to people with disabilities. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. Thank you. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Bye.